Happy Monday, everybody. Nexus Gaming Series, Season number 9, Week number 2. Joining me, my man Carve. How's it going, bud?
Going great, Goose. How are you?
Pretty good, and importantly, all the sound checks out, so that's good. I haven't muted or unmuted anybody that I shouldn't have. We have Division D East, Church of Murky versus Calculated Throw, two veteran squads who have been around the NGS for a few minutes, to say the least. Both teams actually got off to a great start last week. Church of Murky picked up 3 points with a 2-0 domination over Illidancing Queens. Calculated Throw picked up 2 points with a 2-1 win over a new team, Bunker Fun Time. So both teams looking to get those extra points and kind of start competing for the top of the div.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see because Div D is always crazy and fun to watch, and sometimes you just have some super crisp, awesome play, and sometimes you have some super meme fun time, so I can't wait to watch.
And sometimes you have both.
Yes.
It's the game mode where
you can be crisp and memey at the same time. It's my favorite thing to do. I just don't
absolutely.
usually do it.
Absolutely. So it looks like we're getting R's out. One team is R-ish, and the other is R. Game 1, Alterac Pass. Carve, what are your controversial opinions on Alterac Pass?
I love it and I hate it. There's times where I think it's all based off of how my team's playing, and if you get those camps really good timing on them, it feels good, and if you don't, or if you have a couple of annoying heroes that are always interrupting your channels, I hate it, but if you're the one that's interrupting those channels, I love the map. So I just don't know how to feel on average.
Yeah, those heroes like the Junkrats, the Leemings, the Chromies.
Oh yeah, so annoying.
Can really, especially like the Chromie and the Junkrat, which are significantly harder to eat the shots. Like Leeming, you can kind of get in front of it a little bit and maybe eat the shots, but the other two much harder. So first pick over to Church of Murky.
Captain Redbeard. By the way, I noticed both of us are a little bit smaller on the beard front these days.
Kiddo, the kiddo is in charge of my beard. She said she wanted me to shave it, so I did. And at some point, she'll probably say she wants it back, so it'll go back.
Okay. Be interesting to see if they ban Zool on this map with his rework. Because he's not super strong on this map, but he is super strong.
Yeah, and I noticed some of the. I was looking at the Div C stats. Zool was top ban, and that's no surprise. But I've also seen some drafts where he gets flat ignored. So definitely some people out there that don't feel he's that first pick, first ban material.
Yeah, especially on this map. I mean, he's not going to be double soaking. What with all that sticky mud. Li Ming ban, good. Just what we were talking about, annoying as heck to have to deal with.
But that Zool's still sitting out there. Johanna is kind of always in the meta, kind of floats there to the Zool. There it is.
There it is.
Jojo kind of always floating in the top 2 or 3 tanks in the meta. Very generalist, is like kind of never a bad choice, frankly. First pick Greymane, really strong on the mid camps, which are basically the boss on Alterac.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Greymane played these days. He's been in the meta for so long.
Well, he's so good. At
one
of
the few auto
things.
attackers that can hit you down and then finish you. A lot of times you have Jimmy praying, you have Vala vaulting into you, but he can be a lot less risky and still do a ton of damage.
On the flip side, we have Blaze, who can be both off tank and main tank, although I'm seeing a little bit more main tank Blaze nowadays, and Jaina, who's always good.
Anytime you can delete somebody with only one hero,
Mm.
you're
And
pretty strong.
yeah, and with the Jaina and the Blaze, the oil for the slows and the ice for the slows, I kind of like a Rainer actually. Getting the perma bonus damage at 1 would make sense here
Yep.
for a calculated throw. Also gives them a little bit of percentage damage later to kind of wear down that Deathwing. As we have Deathwing and ETC coming out for Church of Murky.
It'll be interesting to see if they try to go full Deathwing blow up build or blow up draft, or if they just try to ignore him. See a Tychus over there, a Leoric maybe, something like that would be interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if they're gonna ban out some of the percentage damage for the Deathwing, or if there's just something they don't like.
I feel like people are getting more used to playing against Deathwing, and there's not that. Oh, never mind. What I was about to say is null.
I do think you're right though. I think the combination of the kind of 2 or 3 nerfs that kind of wore him down with, plus people just getting more accustomed to playing Deathwing, means he's just not as strong as he used to be. And as a tank player, honestly, I think that's one of the hardest positions to learn to play Deathwing against, because you're not going to sink your CC into him, right? It's just a waste. So it's kind of weird that you almost have to ignore Deathwing as far as the peels go, and you really have to change your mentality as a tank player. But calculated throw, they're picking up the big front line, and that's a lot of CC, man. Blaze, Jaina, Mal'Ganis, Deckard. That is AOE CC.
I want to see some sleep ring sleeps. That's what I'm looking for.
Sure.
Or sleep ring would probably be more likely.
And the flip side, Phoenix and Malfurion.
I've seen Navy Nuke's Phoenix. It's pretty good. We'll see what he can do with a couple of pretty easy stuns and roots and ETC and Malfurion. I wonder if he's going to go Planet Cracker with an ETC to just sit there and take it.
Yeah, you could. The salvo kind of used to be the go-to for Phoenix, but they nerfed it to the point where it's almost like a wet noodle unless you have the slows. And I don't see a lot of slows coming out for Church of Murky unless they're going to like stage dive salvo, which seems a little awkward. So I think they got to go for the Mosh meme beam, right?
That would be my guess. I don't see much salvo hardly ever anymore, it seems like.
No,
whether I'm playing ranked or NGS, it just doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, I think the only time you're taking it is if you're pairing it specifically with a big source of a slow, like Earthquake Salvo. You know, you can get the big slow proc and then you get the salvo on top of it. But unless you have something like that to set it up with, you're just not seeing it anymore. So which draft is Carve approved, my man?
I'm a big just a big wombo combo guy. And as much as I like ETC with a Planet Cracker, you know, Deathwing, just Flame Breath, all that kind of stuff, I want to see like a Blaze stun or like a Mal'Ganis sleep into a Blaze stun into a Deckard sleep into a Jaina ring and just watch everybody die. If I had to pick which draft I like better, I think it's hard for me to go against who's on the right. That would be calculated throw. I think I have to go with calculated throw here. Mal'Ganis is just so strong. Zul'jin is strong. There's just not really a weakness there. I think that would be my pick, although it's going to be a little bit hard to interrupt ETC.
Mine as well, but we'll go into that in a moment. The blue team, Church of Murky. Navy Nuke on the Phoenix, Shock on ETC, Begully on Malfurion, Orion on Greymane, and one of my favorite names in all of NGS, Redbeard on Deathwing.
And over on the right for calculated throw, we got Mona Derp playing on Jaina. We got Scooty Puff Jr. on Zul'jin. Mystic rocking the Mal'Ganis. Grievant playing Deckard Kane. And we got Scooter Man on Blaze up top in the solo lane.
Yeah, I kind of like calculated throws draft a little bit better for two reasons. One, ETC is a great tank. He's my favorite tank, but he's also on the squish side as tanks go, or can be. And I think the Zul'jin, if played well, might wear him out a little bit. And simply the front line of Mal'Ganis and Blaze is so beefy, combined with just a lot of AoE crowd control, as Navy Nuke and Scooter Man are just going at it up there. But the jet propulsion missed, and I think Scooter Man's going to have to give up there. Both teams right on time for the Merc camps, though.
Yeah, I like the fact that calculated throw has some actual wave clear. I mean, not that Greymane can't do it, but you're not going to beat Jaina on wave clear. You're just not going to do it.
Well, and you know, Blaze is one of the frontliners that can actually provide some wave clear. You know, not too many tanks actively provide wave clear, but Blaze is one of them that can do it.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Navy Nuke giving him a tough time up top, though.
Yeah, and we do have a DC. We'll see if team captain says a pit of pause. Oh, Decker DCs and dies. Feels bad. But first blood of the game going over to Church of Murky.
Little sad face from Reven there.
Absolutely, I don't blame him.
Shout out to his internet provider. Love to see it.
First blood box brought to you by Spectrum. Although I was talking about ETC not being able to stand in this damage, it's really been Mal'Ganis that's getting beat up here, and Blaze a little bit. Blaze and the Blizzard not in sync there. Or I should say Mystic and the Blizzard. But here we go. First trib, we're going to see how these 5-on-5s go here.
I think interruption-wise, we've got a little bit of an advantage on calculated throw just from Deckard being able to throw things from forever away.
Well, and the oil,
little
too.
Zul'jin. Yep. A lot of stuff that can just be annoying. See, Church of Murky is really keeping the soak up with Navy Nuke up top.
And Deathwing in the bottom. They're really not committing to the objective. Whereas calculated throw is a little bit more indecisive with their approach. Now we have both teams coming down. Face melt coming out from ETC, giving Redbeard a little bit of space. Calculated throw now stepping up to the objective. Mystic has already started taking out the little Guardians, and here's the double channel. ETC does interrupt both with the big face melt and buys his team enough time to get that mid camp. So both teams really going at it. Navy Nuke forced to blink away. There's the sleep, catching 1, 2, 3 in the nap time, but a nice peeling route there by Malfurion holds calculated throw at bay.
Yeah, I think if they had all been paying attention on the Phoenix, they would have been able to get him, but two of the people were still trying to channel. Would have been a dead Phoenix.
Yeah, neither one of these teams really kind of hard committing. They're dancing around the objective a little bit. Phoenix started to go top and then changed his mind and came back down. Deathwing is still bottom. So a little bit of indecision by our squads here. The jet propulsion onto the Deathwing, which I think it missed, but it wouldn't have mattered.
Well, and with the buff to the towers and forts now, you see that a lot of people aren't prioritizing those first objectives like they used to.
Well, with Phoenix showing top, a calculated throw needs to just get aggressive, right? You either need to match the soak or get aggro on the objective, and that's what they did. They got aggressive, the Church of Murky stepped back, and now they have the channel secured. But Phoenix is on his way down, and we're going to see, I think, probably our first real committed fight from both sides here. Ooh. And there goes Deathwing going in big. Everybody low on both sides, going on to Blaze. Yeah, nobody died. Jet propulsion misses as Phoenix teleports away.
That Phoenix is getting so close. Navy Nuke always playing balls to the wall.
You know what this kind of feels like, Carv? It's like the beginning of a boxing match where the two sides are kind of feeling each other out a little bit, kind of throwing the jabs, but not really going in.
I'll have to take your word for it, Mongoose. I'm not much of a boxing fan.
because the kind of these fights have gone back and forth a little bit, but one side gets low, they retreat, the other side gets low, they retreat. However, they are going on to Redbeard now. He's forced to disengage. We'll turn around and put some Dragon Fire out there. Once again, though, Church of Murky does get the camp, but Phoenix is in trouble, takes a nap, sent back to their Hall of Storms, and I think that will probably spell first objective in favor of Calculated Throw.
Yeah, I'm going to have to submit an official complaint to NGS for allowing a person named Redbeard to be on the blue team. It's very confusing.
Yep, I will give you the name of the people on the rules committee.
Okay, I appreciate it.
And we'll have to figure that out.
Let's pause it right now and just submit it.
Get a
just
mod
so we
involved.
make sure we don't forget it. Yeah. Can you take care of it for me, Mr. Mod?
Now, first objective in favor of Calculated Throw, but Carve, I bring your attention to the levels. And Church of Murky is a full level ahead.
Full level.
Yeah. Shock is going to go down, but between the focus on the soak, Jaina going down as well, the focus on the soak and getting that camp like 3 unanswered times, that's going to spell level 10 for Church of Murky.
Well, and I've played with Navy Nuke before. I'm most familiar with him, and he knows what he's doing. And if you watch these fights, he'll have everybody down there, and he'll be soaking because it's always, I mean, skilled players soak. They soak their lanes and get those experience, and they're a full level up. Even though kills are even, and they haven't gotten an objective yet.
They are getting a little bit of value out of this objective, however. There goes the mosh pit. It did catch Deckard Cain. It's going to be a one-man mosh. Scooty Puff Jr. just turns and starts wailing on ETC, but Cursed Bullet and Greymane doesn't matter. Now Mystic is in trouble, trying to queue his way out. We do have heroics for both sides, so let's go ahead and hit those now. For Deathwing, we have Burned Beneath My Shadow. I actually don't know Deathwing's heroics very well at all. That's Tranquility for Malfurion, Curse Bullet for Greymane, which we just saw, Salvo for Phoenix, and Mosh Pit for ETC.
Yeah, and over on Calculated Throw, we've got Dark Conversion for Mystic on the Melganis, Ring of Frost, Deckard with the Stay a While and Listen, Taz Dingo for Zul'jin, and Combustion for Blaze. We got some setups on the red side for some possible monster wombo combos.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed that Blaze took new habits at 1, and I kind of had a hunch he's going to go Combustion. With that, you can hit that unstoppable button while you're charging your Combustion and really get big time value out of it. So let's see if we can get Blaze to hit those combos, as Navy Nuke is in a lot of trouble. Ring of Frost catches him, down he goes. Beogully Gully forced to pop Tranquility. It actually didn't get a lot of value out of it. I think they were out regardless, but Calculated Throw kind of getting a couple counter kills here, trying to get a 2-man nap time, and he does, but forced to leave as he's eating some tower shots.
A little far. Team was a little far back.
Now Deathwing was pushing in here. The thing about Deathwing is you can overextend and die, but you have to overextend by a lot because they can't hold him here. They just have to outdamage him. And he is a little bit beaten up, but any other hero gets CC'd and obliterated there. Deathwing just kind of slowly walks the other direction.
Yeah, they don't really have a hero that can burn him down. I mean, Greymane's something that can put out a lot of damage. I mean, Zul'jin can do it, but
yeah, he comes online a little later for that too.
Yeah, without stuns or anything like that, it's hard for him to kind of do his thing.
Well, we have a tri-channel on that camp, as Calculated Throw is eagerly trying to get 13s before stepping in, and they will have that here in just a few seconds. And that's also giving, worth noting, Deathwing a chance to get up in the air and recover from the beating he took in the bottom lane there.
It does appear that they're... Oh, Deathwing hopping in here. Got Combustion coming out from Blaze.
Now, the one thing I'll say there is he actually used new habits before the Combustion, so he wasn't unstoppable there. Mosh Pit is interrupted by Stay a While. Ring of Frost catches ETC, and he is not going anywhere. Navy Nuke is in China. He is so far isolated from his team, and down he goes. 2-0 kills in the team fight there in favor of Calculated Throw.
Yeah, the mosh pit was, I think, either a 1 or 2-man mosh, but nobody was around him to take care of him.
Yeah, I think, honestly, that's one of the most critical things to playing ETC and setting up on that mosh. If you hit a 5-man mosh, it doesn't matter if you're the only one there. So you really got to make sure that your team is in range to put some damage on it. It's such a high cooldown that you have to get value out of it. So here we go again, Carve. Only 10 seconds left on the channel. Church of Murky is trying to interrupt. Scooterman eats a cursed bullet. Proxy Unstoppable is trying to run away. The channel is still going, and it is going to go to Church of Murky again, but not before Old Man Deckard goes down, as does Deathwing and Blaze. Taz Dingo is popped, wailing on the Phoenix, who actually goes aggressively.
Ooh.
Finishes off Zueljin again, gets the teleport, only to eat nap time by Mystic. 3-2 in favor of Church of Murky. Probably going to be 4-2.
He gets
here,
out. Yeah, he does not get out there.
4-1 actually. Only Deathwing going down.
They get an objective again, but they're going to get nothing with it. They might even reverse lose.
Yeah,
a fort here.
It's pretty unusual when you see a team down in kills, getting 2 objectives, but still down a full level, and Church of Murky is literally just completely stunting these objectives. They're going to get basically 0 value.
Up 16 to 14 too, so they're up a talent here. In our match last week, we got 0 value out of our first 2 objectives, so still ended up coming back and winning, but we got to make sure that they're not getting caught out in China like you were saying. That was just a recipe for disaster. Somehow it didn't cost them.
Oh, the teleport just in time. I mean, just in time. Church of Murky just stayed as long as they could, Carve, and not a half a second longer.
Yeah, no, that was in the milliseconds until that was a stun and a death on Phoenix. Big boy Phoenix with his purification salvo.
So I'm going to go ahead and throw some damage stats up there, get off the talents for a moment, let everybody check it out while we have a brief lull. Both teams going for the mid camps. But the difference in this game so far has been Church of Murky, their ability to manipulate the map. They're doing better in the soaking and the siege damage, despite pretty even on team fights, maybe even losing slightly.
We have a boss call down here bottom. We'll see if they notice it. They're a little suspicious. Are they going to be able to do anything about it, though? I don't think so.
Not with Blaze in top lane. Are they going to take a 5-on-4? Mystic can't take that by himself. Ring of Frost hits too.
Oh,
ETC
dear.
totally isolating out. And poor Monoderp, that was a 2-on-5. And I think Scooty Puff is in trouble too. He is. Great route by Mercurian. Taz Dingo goes out. Staz does stay a while and listen. They're not going to get any offensive value with it, but he is not dead.
I mean, it feels bad to lose and have the other team get a boss, but it feels worse when you have 2 people jump on 5 of them and end it.
Yeah, I think
they have no defense now with Jaina down.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's kind of one of those times where you just gotta cut your losses and live to fight another day.
And they've still got Zueljin to help clear, but having as much damage as possible at a 14-minute boss that can do some damage to your keep.
Yeah, but unfortunately for calculated throw here, the bosses on Alterac are not incredibly strong. The channel is a long time, so they're going to get another crack at an even talent tier fight with a couple of heroics down for Church of Murky, so they can definitely make something here.
They got a lot of heroics coming up here on calculated throws side, though. Just a second, we'll have the Wombo see what happens.
There's the combustion, does catch 3. He's unstoppable afterward. There goes Stay a While and Listen, also catches 3. Ring of Frost on top of it catches 2. But ETC moshes before he dies, but it doesn't matter. Phoenix ETC going down, and this fight continues as the red health bars are so low. Oh. Half a second, Carve, but Blaze is going down. Oh, as is Deathwing, but Blaze is still up. I lied. Caster Curse.
It is huge. They've got to take this advantage now.
Yeah, Blaze barely surviving. They interrupt the channel at 0.5 seconds and get 2 additional kills on 45-second timers. I think that's going to be channel number 3 going over to calculated throw here with as long as these death timers are. It's going to be really tight.
Yeah, and I think to break it down even a little bit further here, we had the first channel was broken at 1.5 seconds. Malfurion interrupted the channel, bringing it to 0.5 seconds, and Deathwing's Fire Breath was just 1 pixel off of keeping that interrupting channel going.
Yep, and they were 0.5 seconds away. It was as close as can be. Also, during the middle of that, Mystic on the Mal'Ganis and Deckard Cain went in there and just bullied Church of Murky off their camp and took it. And here it is, objective number 3, over to Calculated Throw. They have basically caught up in level on the back of that team fight.
Well, you get 4 for none, and you're gonna feel pretty good about that.
Well, yeah, 4 for
This
none
is the
when
kind
you're
of thing
down.
I was talking about.
Yeah, 4 for none when you're down 2 levels too is huge. The catch-up mechanics are going to really work in your favor there.
Uh-oh. Yeah, that's a good face melt.
So
Prevented a little night-night time right there.
Yeah, I really thought they were going to put read him a lullaby there. But mid lane, Phoenix and Greymane are mid, as is Malfurion. So nobody here to defend this, basically, for Church of Murky. All the members except for Blaze here for Calculated Throw.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get something out of it for Calculated Throw.
And for this game being 17 minutes in, level 19 with 19 kills, that is only the second fort to go down in total. Structures now completely even.
Now we got the rest of Church of Murky coming up to help defend so they don't lose any tower value there, because again, towers are so strong now. Want to keep them alive as long as possible. Oh!
Phoenix going down in the bottom lane to Blaze and some minions, I assume. I missed that one, but Blaze is low on health.
I think it was off by the boss.
Oh,
Must
maybe.
have caught him running away or something.
Something, but
We'll have
Blaze.
to check the replay.
Yeah, we will. Blaze a little bit low, so he was taking himself some damage, but now Blaze is in trouble.
I do not
He has
believe
overstayed.
he's
He
gonna
did
make
get
it
the
out
fort,
here.
but
Yeah.
there's the ETC, there's the power slide, there's the first bullet. Jet propulsion away, keeping them in the slowed oil. Ooh. Can the roots from Malfurion come out? Oh my goodness, Scooter Man, the escape artist, Carve.
Skin of his metal suit, which is not much.
And that's the second time he's done that too, where he escaped with basically no health.
There's no way that should have happened. Some serious play. Somebody needs to clip that, as well as let us know what happened down bot with the old Phoenix Blaze.
So, this is about as even can be. Slight kill lead for Calculated Throw. Slight structural lead for Calculated Throw. Experience basically
negligible.
Dead even, yeah. And now Calculated Throw stepping in and trying to eliminate the last fort still on the map for Church of Murky. Deathwing is going to make an appearance to help ward them off.
Got 5-on-5 in mid here. We'll see if anybody tries to make stuff happen. Calculated Throw has no minions to do anything with right now.
Now, whenever there's an ETC in the game, post 20, I think ETC has the most versatile set of 20 talents because they're all good. And he went Storm Shield. All that AoE setup, ETC went Storm Shield. So interesting to see there. Speaking of Mal'Ganis, he ate so much damage. He does get the Dark Conversion off, but Red is solo. There's goes Taz Dingo, able to secure the kill on the Deathwing. Phoenix goes down too. Look at the red health bars carved there so low. Greymane finally able to finish someone off. One-man mosh pit on the Mal'Ganis. Should even up the team fight, but only for a second. And then it's even again, a 3-3. Everybody presses their R buttons.
Happening?
Woo!
I don't even know what to say.
Everybody pressed their buttons,
was gonna
man.
die.
There was a lot going on there.
And if you don't go Ice Blink at 20 with Jaina, you should think about going Ice Blink at 20. Saved her butt.
Yeah, all of the Blink talents are so good. I mean, Jaina also has, yeah, you're not obviously if she went Ring, not Welly. If you went Welly, the Winter.
Oh yeah, it's hard
really good. But if you didn't, I think Ice Blink is the talent.
The only thing that I'll say about the level 20 talent that she has, by the way, speaking of level 20 talents, Phoenix still hasn't chose his.
Unconquer Spirit, question mark?
Or am I? Oh,
No.
maybe he just did.
He
Am I
went
crazy?
did not go Unconquered Spirit.
There's a question mark there when I was looking.
He literally just picked it right now.
Yeah,
So
that's like
ETC,
3 minutes without a 20.
yep, ETC in the top lane. The rest of Church of Murky is on the camp. Calculated Throw might sense that, and they are stepping in strong as 5, trying to get on the point. Now Furion is using the Moonbeam to interrupt. Blaze goes after him. Salvo only catches Mystic, so not as much value as you'd like to see out of that heroic, and that is a 80-second cooldown now. Mosh is still on cooldown as well. So Calculated Throw, if they're monitoring the heroics, this is when they go in, because they have all of their buttons. There's the Cataclysm. Mystic trying to read a lullaby to Navy Nuke there, but he is going away. Kind of skirmishy for both sides. Mosh will be up in 2 seconds. There is the big root, and the combustion only catches 2. There's the root, and the ring, and the stun. Mal'Ganis goes down. So does ETC with Mosh Pit available. Not used there. Teams continue to brawl, Car.
Those Deckard potions can take Scooterman from... He is leading the league and should have died.
Yep, and Navy Nuke, man, he really flirted with that line too there. Does get the Malfurion on the way out, but 3-2 in favor of
This is going to be tough to defend.
In favor of Church of Murky, yeah. The one
Well,
thing I
Deathwing just went up.
Yeah, they might be able to tap and do something with this, maybe. 28 seconds. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're going to have to eat this one. Although bottom and top are pushed pretty far out, so really the only lane they'll have to worry about is mid lane, so not the end of the world.
Yeah, and Deckard probably won't mean anything there, but somehow on their objective, he was able to scoot in. Oh, Scooterman. Is he going to be able to... Oh, gets away again!
Grievant threw a potion on top of him, and it 100% saved his life.
That save brought to you by Spectrum Internet.
Today's cast sponsored by...
Probably not sponsored by.
So look at these lanes carved, top and bottom lane. Poor ETC.
All the way in.
Yeah, they are so far in. If Calculated Throw here just prioritizes this mid lane.
They've got a 5-on-3 right now. Whether they do anything with it remains to be seen.
So both teams here, 5-on-5. One of the unique things about Alterac is the armor mechanic on the core. Mal'Ganis is way out there. Cues his way to safety. There's the Dragon Breath. Outer wall melts. The armor mechanic on the core is reliant on how many keeps are up, so most of the time you see teams wanting to take out 2 keeps before they try to end. So Church of Murky here, though, being very hesitant to step in right now. Top fort does fall, and now both teams will rotate to the bottom where there is no front wall, and Church of Murky will try for a keep one more time.
Yeah, top's getting value too, so as long as they can keep... Ooh, Mal'Ganis going down is huge there.
Yeah, he stepped in relying on the Dark Conversion, but he was stunned so long he wasn't able to get it off. And now a keep goes down, and Calculated Throw on their back foot. Big initiation there by Deathwing, able to secure a kill on the Blaze. Counter on the Ring of Frost, doing a lot of damage to ETC, but they can't quite finish him off. Scooty Puff Jr. and Navy Nuke exchanging pleasantries. Jaina goes down, as does Phoenix. Scooty Puff Jr. gonna go down as well, and that's 4 for 1. Core with 2 keeps down, though, because the objective took top keep. That really should be game in favor of Church of Murky.
I'm going to make a call here, Goose, and it's, I don't believe Deckard is going to be able to solo defend against 4.
Really going out on a limb there.
Yeah, I was right.
So a pretty back and forth game. 25-minute game 1, back and forth and back and forth. And I think the only objective that Church of Murky actually won was the one they ended the game with, correct?
Yeah. And that can happen. I mean, HOTS has really changed into a game where there's a lot of comeback mechanics and a lot of abilities for teams that can team fight well to eat the first two objectives, especially now with how strong forts and towers and keeps are. There's a lot of possibility for you to just kind of weather the storm and come back from it.
All right, so we are going to have game number 2 coming up, waiting for the teams to sort out where we will be going for said game number 2. So while we're waiting for them, we'll take a quick breather so I can get a glass of water, and we'll be back momentarily. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Game number 2. Going to be playing Volskaya Foundry, one of the other newish maps. And pretty close game 1. Honestly, I think the main difference that I saw carve was Church of Murky. I don't think really stepped into any situations where they shouldn't have been, but there were maybe 2 or 3 spots where calculated throw maybe stepped in where they're outnumbered. That boss on the bottom comes to mind, where they maybe should have just taken a step back and regrouped. So I think if you just kind of course correct there a little bit, they could have easily won that game.
Yeah, I think if I was to summarize some of the mistakes that I saw Church of Murky made, I would say that they were maybe a little silly at times, but a couple of the things that Calculated Throw did were costly. Where they were, like you said, we had the Mal'Ganis really, really getting out there, and maybe the team wasn't as.
And I imagine we'll probably be in for a pretty good game too. We saw there in game one. So first pick over to Calculated Throw. So they chose first pick. Church of Murky took us here to Volskaya Foundry. And Volskaya is an interesting map. You have the long, drawn-out objective fights where you're fighting over the Rock'em Sock'em robot. It's not one of my favorite maps because if you get up by a little bit, you can just dominate the toys, the biotic emitters, and the turrets. And if you're already up and you have the toy advantage, you really can get a stranglehold on the map in a way that you can't on others. Yep. No, I'm right in the middle of it. Well, with game one.
This phone needs me. Victory for the Forsaken.
Hello,
We're back, Carve. I
are
made
you
it
there?
back in time.
Are we on?
Yeah, made it back in time without even missing any of the games. So that's spectacular. Can
Are
you
we
hear me?
on stream?
You are. Yeah. Stream went away and we'll be back. It is back. So
Oh, hey, stream.
yeah,
What's up?
it is.
It's
It
been a
is.
while.
It is up now. So that means after this, I will download these two videos and splice them into one for the YouTube upload, so no one has to find two or three
You're a
games.
gosh dang hero, Goose.
It's the least I could say for dropping the game mid-draft. But what's been going on? We have Zool bans, Mal'Ganis bans, Phoenix bans. So some responses to game one there, Carve.
Definitely, definitely. Greymane being taken by Navy Nuke on that DPS slot as he normally does. We got a Sylvanas that surprises me a little bit that was able to make it through. She is so strong right now with the ability to turn off those just buff towers.
Well, not just that, but Merc Queen with the turrets on Volskaya Foundry, man. Those empowered turrets on the points are really strong.
They're big and fat,
They
Goose.
are.
They are big. Do big damage. Big boy damage.
Speaking of big and fat, Deathwing gonna be
Deathwing.
there
Yep,
for
yep.
Church of Murky again.
Well, and we also got Muradin. We got some big boys on the left side. I always love the Thrall pick, and I love that Thrall skin. I am pro Thrall. Oofta. Can't believe I messed up my favorite hero, Goose.
All right, last pick, as we have Thrall picked up by Calculated Throw.
Looking probably for a mage is my guess. Something DPS. There we go. I'd say if you're looking for a mage, you could do way worse than Jaina there.
Yeah, for sure. And they got good balance out of the back line there with the auto attack damage, the spell damage. I'm curious with Rhaegar if we're going to see a Bloodlust here or the oldie but goodie Ancestral.
Yeah, and truth be told, it's crazy that you're getting Jaina on the last pick of the whole match. That's surprising.
Well, on the plus side, we didn't DC mid-game, so when I put these together, the only missing thing will be the middle of the draft, which is not terrible. Stream should be back up. Everything should be up, so we should be good to go. Or Slobs is lying to me. One of the two. So, which draft do you like more?
Well, last time I went with calculated throws. And if I'm going to pick a draft again, I think I'm still going to go with calculated throws. You got possibly the best tank in the game with Joanna. You got Mert Queen on Sylvanas. Thrall is just so useful in pretty much every team comp that it's hard to argue with that. Li Ming just does so much burst damage, and Malfurion is just such a good healer. It's really tough to beat that. I mean, you got Jaina and Greymane on Church of Murky. But I think the comp that Calculated Throw has is just phenomenal.
Well, let's introduce our teams for Game 2. Shock on Muradin, Begully on Rhaegar, Navy Nuke on Greymane. I'm sorry, on Jaina, Redbeard on Deathwing, and Orion on Greymane.
And over for Calculated Throw, we have Grievant using his patented healer position on Malfurion. We've got Joanna being played by Scooter Man. Mystic on my boy Thrall, Scooty Puff Jr. on Sylvanas, and Mona Derp rocking the Li Ming.
So back to these comps, I would agree with you, but with one massive asterisk, and that's if you got a Li Ming on your team and you're not getting resets, way to bush check that, nice job there.
Yeah.
You have to get resets with the Li Ming, otherwise you're not getting trade value. And it's very hard to win team fights. The team for Church of Murky, Muradin with Avatar, tough to bring down. Deathwing, especially if Deathwing takes the protective ability, can really eat the Li Ming damage. Rhaegar, if he goes Ancestral, can offset. I think Li Ming is going to struggle to get resets. So that's my asterisk, is if Li Ming struggles to get resets, this is Church of Murky's game. But if Calculated Throw can get the resets, they're going to be in a great spot. But here comes the invade by Church of Murky with 2 showing top. Calculated Throw is not going to be able to defend this.
Yep, they can't do it. 4, is that all 5 of them? Yeah,
all 5
man invaded. Yep.
That's because Li Ming and Johanna showed top. Church of Murky knew that it was theirs for the taking, and that's kind of one of the things we touched on between games. If you're Calculated Throw, you know you got 2 people in the top lane. That's an automatic get out of there as soon as Deathwing shows up with reinforcements, basically.
Well, and going back to the conversation about Li Ming and getting resets, I mean, really the asterisk on everything is how are the team fights going to be in so many situations? Because what we found out last time was Church of Murky just team fought better usually. They didn't make quite as many silly plays. And really, it's going to be tough for Li Ming to get resets, but if they can pick off 1 or 2 people and fight up a man, who knows what can happen.
So we talked about the toys, and 2 turrets in favor of Church of Murky already, and they're about to also have a 3/4 of a level lead as well. So taken from their game plan in game 1, really dominating the soak department. not missing
Yeah,
any.
Greymane and Rhaegar tag team in the camp up top too to help push during the objective phase.
Yeah, and this is why right here, this top lane carve, this wave is crashing. Nobody is from here from calculated throw to catch it. And that's one of the small differences. So Sylva's going to get about half of the wave. One of the small differences that Church of Murky, we're not seeing that. They're not missing that same kind of soak. And now they're grabbing the biotic emitter too. Really a master class in map manipulation here by Church of Murky.
They're just choking them out. They're a step ahead, and getting that timer on the camp meant that it forced calculated throw to have to respawn with their camp, allowing them to get the old healing camp on the side of Church of Murky, and not having to worry about whether or not it was contested either.
Yeah, now they're going to win the race to 7. They can step back off of this if they want, grab 7, come back. Jaina's clearing top, so I imagine that's exactly what Church of Murky is going to do. You're just going to kind of see Muradin and Deathwing just hover on the edges of this point, buy a little bit of time. They'll get 7. Jaina will come down, and then they'll step back in hard with the turrets and the heal beacon.
Well, and the thing is, too, is they're not super close to 7. I mean, now they are, but they're still not at 7. And it's not quite on the horizon yet either.
Scooty Puff Jr. threw that haunting wave out early, wanted to make sure he didn't get caught. Well played there. But Church of Murky stepping in, and calculated throw hasn't even forced them to use any of their toys yet until right now, as the biotic emitter and the turret finally go down. And that really should secure that objective for Church of Murky.
Yeah, they've got some good turret placement too, getting annoying in the front with something on the back end to take care of it. Navy Nuke poking them out there at the top too.
Although calculated throw, they're actually showing really nice patience here. Shook is in a lot of trouble, gets eaten to the Malpurian route, forced to dwarf toss to safety. 98, 99, and they're not quite on the point. First Rock'em Sock'em robot going to Church of Murky. Although go ahead.
I think they're going to have a little bit of a tough time clearing those too. I mean, they've got Sylvanas, but it's not going to be easy to clear out that objective either.
Well, if anytime you got to clear out 3 items, that you're not in a great spot already. But a small win by calculated throw that they at least forced Church of Murky to use those to reset for objective number 2. You couldn't let them go into objective number 2 with all of those items still up.
Yeah, and I don't think they even really needed to. I don't think, I correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I don't think they had a single percentage point in favor of calculated throw there. They probably could have choked them out just a little bit longer.
So level lead for Church of Murky. They did go top and get the well, right? Yep, that's typically what you want to get out of that first objective is top well. Church of Murky, though, sniffing around for an invade, but calculated throw learned their lesson. They're down here in force just to make sure.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on him, right? That's what they say.
Absolutely.
Nailed it. Ektar's got a good point in chat. Likes the draft with Sylv. Towers got buffed, so Sylv got buffed by proxy.
100% true.
Just words, I don't know what it means, but he's way smarter than me, so I'm going to trust him.
All right, level 10s. We have Burn Beneath My Shadow again for Deathwing. Welly, Water Elemental for Jaina. Ancestral Healing for Rhaegar. I like that. A little soft counter to the resets if you time it right. Avatar for Muradin, and Cursed Bullet for the Great.
Yeah, Cursed Bullet's going to be really huge on Joanna. If he can get a good Cursed Bullet and a good engage, I mean, Thrall's a decent bruiser, but their front line is nowhere near what it was last game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know kind of Bloodlust is the new hotness right now, and deservedly so, because it's really good. But Ancestral is never a bad choice item. I love the sound effects on Deathwing. It just makes you feel like you're playing Hot's Jurassic Park.
I'd go to that park, even if there's a chance that I'd get eaten by a Deathwing.
Alright, so here we go. Both sides have got their camps. Both sides have their turret. neither side with the biotic emitter. Jaina actually going down. Welly is still down here, so nice play by Mystic.
Deathwing low too. Deathwing down pretty low here. He's got to go up in the air and heal.
First bullet missed. So Calculated Throw could get some value here if they wanted. I'd like to see Li Ming step on the top side of this and throw stuff into the well. There you go. That's what you want if you can swing it to take that well down. Wailing Arrow, though, unfortunately, does not hit anybody. And that's what I want.
Protecting that well. Look at that.
Well, and that's fine if you're Calculated Throw. That's so much damage that they have to take to eat that. And the well went down anyway. So small
little
victory
mid rotation, gonna try to take Deathwing here. Maybe it's gonna be challenging.
Yeah, you know, with Deathwing though, just by the way his mechanics work, I think just doing a nice chunk of damage to him right before an objective is still valuable.
Yeah.
Both sides though going for the turrets. Calculated Throw once again keeping everybody in the zip code.
Yeah, they're not losing another one of those. I'll call that right now. They're not getting bullied off of one of those again. Oh, gotta remember the turret there, guys.
Yep, and no Merc Queen, worth noting. So both sides will have 2 regular turrets. Thrall and Deathwing are in the off lane soaking. Calculated Throw, I imagine, is just going to hang out for a bit until they get their said 13s. Small advantage, though, for Church of Murky with that healing turret.
Yep, Thrall is going to beat Deathwing there. If they even decide to go for something here.
Well, Deathwing is up. He's recovering that health they kind of knocked out of him. So both sides at 13, and I imagine we're going to see something here. And we do.
Both tanks zoning the other team.
Yeah, and Self-Ancestral onto Rhaegar. That's a great Blessed Shield. If Li Ming gets a reset, they're in great shape, and she doesn't. Not yet. It's actually Greymane that goes down. There's the reset. Calculated Throw picking up the small victory there. There goes the turret, and that's Church of Murky has to leave now. They just cannot stay here with
Jaina's,
no Greymane and a turret.
Jaina's up there. Jaina's a little aggressive too. Watch those plays, kind of pushing off to the sides at all times. Navy Nuke is just out there trying to poke people down.
You know,
be the hero.
I might have underestimated the Li Ming Sylve damage because that Avatar Muradin, he just friggin' melted. Yeah, absolutely. And it is orb build Li Ming with glass cannon. So if she's hitting those max distance orbs repeatedly, she's gonna chunk.
You best be watching out. Nobody. Okay. Malfurion gets back on.
Yeah, they're kind of dancing around on the point, getting the lane, but getting up in time. And here we go again, Carve.
Little 5-on-5 action.
Jaina in trouble. There's the Sunder. Curse bullet misses.
Doing a great job of zoning the other team.
And Jaina isolated again. They're looking for. There's the shield. There's the unstoppable. She goes down anyway.
Deathwing might. I like the little root by Thrall there. Just in case Deathwing gets rooted.
So Signs of Life here by Calculated Throw. That is a back-to-back team fight wins. But I'm going to give Church of Murky a small tip of the hat. They're doing something that I don't see enough teams do, which is kind of taking their losses, right? They lost one player, they backed up, they didn't stay in there and lose 2-3 guys. They lost the team fight and they backed up and went somewhere else and just kind of waited for their shot again. They didn't make it from bad to worse.
Really, in a lot of competitive arenas, whether it's esports, sports, whatever it might be, it's about limiting mistakes, and losing a hero is not good, but losing 3 heroes is worse. And they're doing a good job of kind of not throwing the whole thing back in favor of Calculated Throw.
Yeah, absolutely.
That ancestral from Mystic with a great amount of damage. Ancestral Wrath is a super good talent against Deathwing.
You know, I thought the damage coming out of Li Ming and Silva just feels like it's more damage, but looking at the numbers, the raw damage, there isn't too much of a difference between the two teams. I think it's just been, they've really been on the same targets.
Yep. Ancestral Wrath came out there, saving Jaina. Don't know if she would have died without it, but better safe than sorry, I suppose.
Sure, especially because the cooldown should be up by the time the next objective goes down, so like really no harm in doing it.
They're going for the healing camp here. I wonder if we might see...
I want to see Calculated Throw get up here.
And
Use the
fight
turret if
over
you
it,
need
yeah.
to bully them off there and win something. They're a little late though, and not going to get up here in time.
I would have liked to either see a quick rotation there or possibly them trying to sneak the camp.
Yeah, the
with
bottom
the
one.
turret on the other side, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a cheeky little move. Now they're looking at an invade. Muradin's going to see it. He does go straight onto Sylph, who eats a stun. Avatar's popped. There goes the Sunder. Everybody's pressing their buttons, Carve. Red is going to go so low. Li Ming goes down. Johanna goes down. That was...
That hurts bad.
Yes. Mystic is going to go down as well. I don't know how he gets out of this.
Oh, no. I think... Yep, Mystic's done.
And oof.
That's what we were talking about before, just limiting those mistakes. And, you know, they had great positioning on the side of Church of Murky.
Absolutely.
Everybody knew what was coming. We had Muradin right there in the vent, knew exactly what was going to happen. And they still just went for it, and they didn't decommit, even though they probably should have.
Yeah, and I like the kind of thought process behind Sylph and Li Ming. They knew where Johanna was, and they were trying to move forward to put the damage where Johanna was trying to dictate it should go. The problem was there was between Johanna and the backline, there was a Deathwing with the Fire Breath, and they had to walk through it to get there, and they just ate so much damage.
Yeah, everybody was on him. Everybody was on him, and Muradin and Johanna, to her credit, they've both done a very good job at keeping the other team's damage away and zoning them away. The problem is it's who's gonna break that zone first is usually the team that's gonna win the team fight.
Well, in that situation, what Calculated Throw was trying to do was get the camp, so they had to force in, right? They couldn't sit back and just lob their damage from a distance. And the other thing worth noting is nobody checked that bush for Muradin. Muradin literally let Johanna go by and then started beating up on Sylph.
Yep.
A protector is almost ready. Access its
Ooh,
when I bring
missed the
someone.
wolf. That could have been a game changer right there if Thrall hits that wolf.
Yeah, I kind of half expected a Sunder if they would have sundered the three of them away, but Calculated Throw was a little far back, and I think it was probably the better move to just wait for a little bit better of an opportunity. So here we go.
It's a big cooldown.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Church of Murky gonna wait for 20s? Question mark? Yeah, they are.
Jaina's
just-
going mid.
They're just gonna have Muradin hang out on the point as much as he can, and then back up and wait for that 20s. So, you know, if I'm Calculated Throw, I send 5 people at this camp. You want to force a pre-20 fight, and that's how you do it. It's right there. You can see the danger pings coming out too, but especially Jaina showing in the top lane. You know, if you want to force something pre-20, yeah, that's how you do it there. You either force them to give you the turret or give you the pre-20 fight, one of the two.
And now they get 2 camps out of it.
I will say, though, Calculated Throw isn't too far behind the race in 20. They might be able to just back up and get 20 themselves and re-engage.
Well, they're getting a good lead here. I mean, they're probably going to end up with 65-70%.
Yeah, but Mouth needs to
has
leave.
to get off.
Yeah. Hearth from there, dude. There you go. Uh-oh.
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 Oh.
Oh, no! They found him! Drop the turret! Drop the turret!
Oh.
Oh, no! And Thrall isn't
they
here.
took the
They
turret.
actually almost got a counter kill, too, Carve. Oh, no!
They almost got the turret down. Ooh. What was the hearth timer on that? Probably less than a second.
It was real close. That's unfortunate.
I think you just run.
Oh,
You run 5 seconds earlier and you're good.
yeah, he should have just run a couple seconds earlier. I love this play by both sides. Calculated throw. We're going to get value somewhere on the map.
Red team
On the
has
flip side,
destroyed
Church of Murky, well, if they're going to get somewhere value up there, we're going to get value down here. Really smart play by both sides.
Now the question is whether or not they're going to be able to get a keep here. You'd think at 18 minutes they're going to be able to do it, but
Blue team
I
has
bet
taken
calculated
control
throw
of
isn't going to wait until they get back all the way to their... They're going to be trying to poke as much as they can here, yep.
Yeah, and the other thing is calculated throw has shown throughout the game that when they're in a position to... The assassins can safely sit within their own space and throw out damage. They're really excelling in those scenarios. And so here with the fort behind you, that's the scenario they find themselves in. Although not Thrall, he goes down, Ancestral
Ooh,
goes out and
terrific
keeps
Ancestral.
Greymane up and prevents the reset. So nice play there by Bagully. Still has that emitter up there. Finally throws it down and keeps going down, Carve.
Yep.
Blue team has
Aggressive play by
Got a shot
Redbeard right
out.
under the core.
Yeah.
And then he decides, yeah, maybe back
I'm
up.
out.
Yeah.
Avatar just got popped by Muradin trying to guarantee getting out. That's a lot of value right there. A kill and a keep. Another camp, they're gonna get their own camp. They're gonna be fully loaded here coming into whenever the next team fight is.
But calculated throw. They are post 20 with forts down, so they have win conditions on the board here. All they got to do is win a decisive post 20 team fight, and they'll be ready to end this thing.
Yeah, they have calculated throws really gonna have to look for a pick here and trying to turn it for some value. Get some of them resets going that we talked about.
And they were so close to getting the Greymane.
That was a clutch ancestral. Now this could be game
Love
right here if
this.
they end up
Love
fighting.
this.
Are they baiting or nope?
Oh, I kind of wish they would have
baited.
baited. I really
Zoning
wanted
route.
them to bait. Here we go. In goes Deathwing. There goes the Leaming damage. There goes everything. Muradin very low again, and no Avatar. Church of Murky
Nope.
does secure the Biotic Emitter, but Red's health bars are oh so low. But Muradin gets the Ancestral and stays alive
Ancestral.
again. But they use both the turret and the Biotic Emitter for that. I think that's calculated throw net win. Nobody
Yeah,
dies.
and they have a camp pushing top 2. That's full health almost.
Yeah, they lost their items, and calculated throw didn't have any losses from their end.
Ancestral Wrath though still just sorry, not Ancestral Wrath. That's the Thrall talent.
Ancestral healing.
Ancestral healing coming out for Rhaegar has just been huge. The past 2 of them have really made sure that the fights stay at least even, if not in Church of Murky's favor.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mentioned earlier in the game. Like, you know, an ancestral to save somebody from dying is always good, but when there's a Leaming on the other team, you're not just saving your teammate from dying, you're preventing Leaming from getting a whole nother set of cooldowns.
Yeah, especially with those orbs.
Right.
She has been really good at throwing them from distance, and now we're gonna have to see them defend up top because it cannot afford to lose another keep here.
I'm getting another
Look at
diamond.
Thrall going for the aggressive
From the
Sunder.
back, I
He's
like
looking
this. They're
for
gonna
it.
have to go though.
Look for the Sunder right here. There it is. Oh, splits him the wrong way. Blessed Shield on top. And then Thrall gets
He dies for it.
deleted. Absolutely deleted. Holy moly.
And no heroics on the side of sorry, not Church of Murky. Calculated throw here. It's gonna be challenging to defend this.
Take control.
Yeah, I like the idea from the Thrall. He was just a hair off. He would have splintered the team in the other direction towards his teammates where the damage
Yep.
was. They would have been in a perfect spot, but it was just a couple of pixels off, and it actually split them in the unoptimal way.
Well, and I mean, I like to consider myself a pretty decent Thrall player, and Sunders don't need to be perfect. They just need to do the job, and I think he was just trying to thread the needle right where it needed to be instead of just making sure that he got some damage and blew him back.
So Thrall up in 6, and then we'll go for round who knows what at this point. But turret advantage, 2 of them now in favor of Church of Murky off of the Thrall death in the top lane. All heroics are here except for Sylve and Deathwing. And here we go.
And they're gonna come up right at the same time. Oh, I thought I was gonna see a Blessed Shield there on Jaina.
So Mystic looking again for that flanking Sunder, kind of sitting around on the conveyor belt down here. Now he gets it and puts the Greyman right into his team. They do get the reset despite the Blessed Shield miss. Flanked by Sylve.
Sylvanas gets out.
Ancestral saving Muradin again.
Does Jaina live here?
Oh my goodness, big condemn. There's the punish. Down goes Jaina. And the differences in those Sunders were night and day. This time put Greymane right in the middle of his team. And you get the early kill there. So much better execution there for a calculated throw. Love it.
And, you know, it's a big enough hitbox that, like I said, it doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. You get 2 coming back instead of just maybe 1. That's just fine. That was huge. Huge Sunder. I'm always down for Thrall plays.
Especially with AoE damage that they have on a calculated throw. You Sunder in 2 and they get hit by all the Sylve stuff and the Leeming stuff. Doesn't matter if there's 1 or 2 there.
And Javana's sucking them all in, too, with her condemn.
This matters, though, Carve. 4 Katas currently mowing down the core for calculated throw. Sylvanas forced to go back and deal with it, and she does fairly quickly, but they do take 5% core damage.
An objective up. They have to get something here to.
I imagine you try to equalize bottom lane, right?
Yep. And then see if you can turn mid. I mean, this is a 25-minute protector.
Now, I will say, though, there's no healer out. Sylve and Leeming are going to have very little protection. And look at Deathwing. Deathwing is just ignoring the defense, and he is pushing 2 Katas in. Now he's hearthing back. They've decided that wasn't the right play.
No.
Keep is melting. Down it goes. The robot at about...
I would have saved your D there if I'm Sylvanas.
Yeah, it's robot at about 75% health. There's the dinosaur breath. Sylve getting melted, forced to blink away, and she is effectively out of this fight. She can't do anything. And this is what I was talking about. They have no peels, but the Rock'em Sock'em robot, 25 minutes in, melting the core. It does not matter that Sylve and Leeming were completely isolated out because that's game number 2, man. That is 100% game number 2.
That was pretty freaking close there at the end.
It was, yeah. I was worried about the protection of Leeming and Sylve, but it turns out it doesn't matter when the core just is 25 minutes into the game and single-handedly melts the core.
Well, and when Sylve goes down there, I just don't think that they're going to be able to take it. But like you said, that 25-minute protector is strong.
All right, well, a pretty even series so far, I'm going to say. Both games competitive both ways. Both games had some give and some take and some back and some forth. I was worried about getting Leeming resets. They didn't get as many of them as I think they would like, but they got enough, and they got them when they needed them.
Yeah, I think the first game, was a lot more back and forth, kind of a who's going to take over. And, Church of Murky, I thought, did a much better job of controlling this game. But, I mean, Hot's mechanics, they're always there to come back, and you get a couple of picks like they did. They have the ability to control that whole map, and that really changed the course of possibly this whole series. At least they're getting a point. Could be the difference between them coming out on top or getting 2-0'd.
Yeah, I said after the bottom keep fell for calculated throw that despite that, this is post 20, and all you need to do is win one and win the game, and that's what they did. Yep. We saw the Thrall kind of hanging out on that flank, waiting for his spot. He hit the big time Sunder to isolate out the Greymane. He blew up instantly. They got another kill on it, got the robot, ran it down core.
Yep. What you got to do. Objectives at the beginning of the game, not super strong, but whenever you get past that 20-minute timeline, you're going to be able to do some serious damage.
All right, well, we'll take a quick 2-minute break to catch our breath for game number 3, and we'll be right back. Uh, all right, Carve, game number 3 in our Division Eastern matchup between veteran squads, Church of Murky and Calculated Throw, tied at 1 game apiece, of course. Both games were fun. Back and forth, could have gone either way.
Yeah. My favorite part about these games is when, as long as one team doesn't just have a stranglehold on it, there's always a chance that you're going to come back. And as fun as the first game was, kind of back and forth, it's always fun to see a come from behind victory like that last game.
Yeah, Church of Murky was definitely kind of controlling throughout. You never felt like they had a stranglehold on the game, but they were definitely controlling the map more. They were controlling the items more. But Calculated Throw is, it sounds silly, but they were losing soft enough to be in a position to win when it counted.
Yeah, I think you said it didn't feel like they had total control, and I would agree with that. I think there was definitely not a stranglehold on that game. They were in control, but not enough where they could afford to have what happened, which was um, the couple of picks at the very end there. If you're gonna do that, I mean, obviously nobody tries, but you gotta make sure that you've got the lead. It's a little bit stronger than.
All right, looks like both teams are R, and we are going to Infernal Shrines for game number 3. This was... Whose choice of map was this? Okay, so first pick Church of Murky. So this is calculated throws, choice of map. Church of Murky went with first pick coming off the loss. Infernal Shrines, I think, is probably the closest thing to a standard HOTS map, I would say. It's kind of, I don't know, the map you go when you want to feel out the other team.
Yeah. No way Zool makes it through here. Can't imagine Zool's going to make it through. And yeah, I think if you're talking about standard HOTS maps, you know, the fact that nobody gets in the objective, you just kind of push with it. The lanes aren't super far apart, so you can have pretty good rotations. I think you're definitely right in that it's a standard. There's no point to control like a Dragonshire or a Braxis or anything like that.
Yeah,
So
it's not a huge map, but it's big. It's traditionally, it's the traditional 3 lanes.
yep.
So
Just some brilliant analysis, Mongoose. I
know,
gotta say.
I know. Like when the game first came out, kind of Cursed Hollow was the more kind of standard map, but I think after Shrines came out and as the amateur scene, pro scene developed, Infernal Shrines kind of overtook as the standard map of Heroes of the Storm. Well, Carve, that was not a Zool ban.
Yep, and it's first pick. So as long as Redbeard doesn't play, I'd like to see Redbeard play something other than Deathwing, honestly. So I hope he sticks on that. It wasn't just an insta-lock and then a switch.
When Zool first came out, Infernal Shrines, the kind of back in the day strat was double soak first objective and ignore it, because you would get more value out of the Zool double soak
Yep.
than you would out of the objective. Speaking of Deathwing, though, going to be on calculated throws side of the map this time, and Scooterman jumping on the Muradin.
I'm going to get my wish. Redbeard will not be playing Deathwing today.
That is, you will get your wish. I want to see, in particular, if Church of Murky gets a bunch of CC here, I think you calculated throw has to have a cleanse healer.
For the alliance above all.
So good old standby Greymane, and one of my favorite healers to play with, not as, because I can only play like 2 supports, and Anduin's not one of them. But Anduin's so fun. Playmaking, the capability of Light Bomb, the reverse hook.
Yeah, I wonder, we're not going to see like a Mal'Ganis Light Bomb, but I wonder if they're going to try to get a tank that can get in there, maybe a Blaze with a Light Bomb on him, or...
A Nubarak.
Yeah. Nubarak's really fallen off in terms of the amount of time that they're picked, so we'll see what they pick here.
Yeah, I actually really like a Nubarak as a late pick tank, because when he struggles is when the other team has that auto attacker that can just beat him up. But if that hero isn't on the other side, I love the Anubarak as a late tank pick. Cocoon is really strong. Double stuns on the base kit. Most tanks don't have double stuns on the base kit. When you get to 20, you get quad stuns on your base kit with the rewind. But that Rainer, though, that makes it much harder.
Make it a problem.
Yeah, that makes the Anubarak much harder to pull off. Not impossible, but harder.
So what does Navy Nuke go here? As a DPS player, that's all he's played so far today. Played Phoenix first, and then was Jaina in the last game.
Well, we're
not
find
gonna
out.
see a KT. Gonna see a Ming or Vala. Okay.
Vala, interesting.
Couple of auto attackers.
And a Diablo. Okay, Light Bomb Diablo works.
Works very well. You have a Light Bomb Diablo plus a APOC. You're gonna have some problems.
Now Diablo is a real nice hard engage tank. Is a little bit harder to peel with, so Navy Nuke does need to be a little bit careful with the positioning, because Vala puts a ton of damage out, but also pretty squish.
She's squish. Yep.
And it's going to be Lucio. Interesting.
Lucio last, I believe, did Grievant play Lucio in the first game? I can't remember.
No, this is the first time.
No, that would have been Begully, I think.
No, Begully was on Malf in the first game, I thought.
Oh, I'm dumb.
I think this is the first time we've seen Lucio this set.
So I was playing some HOTS just before this, so it could have been in a game that I was playing.
There you go. So some fresh hero blood coming out. The first game with Azul, the first game with an Anduin, the first game with the Dibbles, the first game with a Vala, and our first game with the Lucio. So getting
I
a little bit of a
gotta,
different flavor.
I gotta go with Church of Murky's draft on this one. Anduin's a really strong healer. Not that Lucio isn't, but Anduin's a really strong healer. Greymane's good. Zul's super good right now. Diablo's it's just a solid draft over there. Not that calculated throws isn't, but
Now
it's scary over there.
the one thing I would say that maybe I generally agree, but I will say calculated throws draft only has one vulnerable target. If you think about it, Raynor has a self-hero, usually picks up the armor. Jaina's the vulnerable one. Muradin can take care of himself. Deathwing, obviously, Lucio's got the mobility. And once she gets the shield, she's okay too. But Church of Murky has some more vulnerable heroes. Vala is vulnerable. Zul can be vulnerable. Anduin is vulnerable. So,
it really is a dive comp on Church of Murky's side. They're gonna have to get picks, and it's gonna have to be on Jaina or Raynor, or if they can lock down Lucio on him. But it's probably not gonna be on Muradin.
all right, so we have Shock playing Diablo, Bigeli on Anduin, Navy Nuke on Vala, Redbeard on Zul, Orion on Greymane, Blues team Church of Murky.
And on the red side for calculated throw, we have Grievant on Lucio, Muradin being played by Scooter Man, Mystic on the Jaina, Scooty Puff Jr. on Raynor, and Deathwing being played by Monaderb. Speaking of Scooter Man, almost died but leaped to safety, playing it safe. Let's see if calculated throw can get out to a lead here, because even on the first map where they had the first two objectives, they still couldn't really get a lead in experience. So I wonder if they'll be able to try to take it to Church of Murky. That's what I'm hoping for.
You know what I kind of wanted to see Church of Murky do is leave Zul in the bottom lanes, and they have Vala Greymane. That is a ton of siege damage. Stack the 4-man in the top, double rotate the Zul. They could put a ton of pressure in that top lane. But they're sticking with the standard, leaving Zul as just kind of the traditional solo laner up there.
Well, and I think with how strong Zul is right now, looks like he's going to be double soaking mid-top a little bit. But I feel like if you're not doing some form of a double soak with Zul right now, you're kind of wasting some really good skills that he has that people just can't keep up with on other heroes, especially Deathwing.
Yeah, I agree. And this is what we're seeing right now, man. That's what we saw in both of these first two games. Is Church of Murky is a little bit cleaner in the rotations. They're a little bit cleaner in their XP soak, and you can already see it in the experience bars.
Yep. Vala going hot pursuit on one.
And look, they're actually doing what I suggested, just slightly different. Zul's taking the top two lanes, and the 4-man is just shoving in bottom. So kind of doing what I said, just in a slightly different manner of execution.
Again, just brilliant analysis all around from the Mongoose team here. I am Team Mongoose. I don't know if you saw my sign earlier.
So top lane is the first lane. So here's the question. Is Church of Murky going to actually go for the objective, or do they just send Zul to double soak the bottom lanes while the 4-man harasses without hard engaging top, and then in that way try to get more value out of the bottom two lanes than calculated throw will get out of the top lane?
I think I'd be surprised if I saw that, truthfully, but it definitely could happen. We'll see right here. Nope, Zul's going right up top.
Yep, they're all coming.
They're all going to see how fast they can clear here. And I think Red might be able to clear a little bit faster, even though they've got Zul. That Jaina and Deathwing can just clear so fast. We'll see what happens.
And early game Diablo can definitely be worn out by Raynor, so that's kind of something to keep in mind. Doesn't have as many souls as he would like quite yet. And there's Navy Nuke just kind of getting taken down by just kind of arbitrary damage from Deathwing. It really didn't even do that much damage to him.
Ooh, that was a nice line for Mona to just breathe her fire breath.
Muradin forced a dwarf toss away. Church of Murky stepping in. There goes the dinosaur breath. Redbeard is so low, as is Muradin. Mystic, very low. Nice boop by Grievin to give
Scooty
Mystic a
Puff
little
Jr.
space there.
Oh,
Scooterman is an animal, though. He goes in, gets out with less than 300 health.
I don't know if you saw, he jumped back in or walked back in to throw a stun to try to keep Scooty Puff alive. A move that I know Scooty Puff Sr. would have been proud of because he doesn't want to see his son die.
And tip of the hat to Calculate a Throw. They did something there that we haven't seen them do enough of this series, which was they took the loss without dying. They kind of backed up and went to do something else. So nobody died in that objective phase at all. It was secured by Church of Murky. But because Calculated Throw, although they did just eat a quad stun from John Cena there, now Mystic's in trouble and goes down. There's a little bit of a kind of an internal clock on the John Cena. You got to know when that jump's coming.
Well, and it's a frozen Punisher too, which is by far nowadays the strongest one of those because it shuts down towers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as the tank player, it's one of my big pet peeves on my squad is when my team eats more than one stun because I'm constantly calling it out. You really got
to. With you. You are.
You got to call that out, and only one player should ever be eating that stun. There should never be a reason for that to be 2 or 3.
The only thing that frustrates me more than that is when people call the objective on this map John Cena. That does bother me more.
I have not heard that, but that would also tilt me.
It's bad. It's bad. Yeah. I don't get angry at much, Goose, but I get angry at that.
Once again, Church of Murky all over the Mercs. A little bit faster moving around the map. They have taken first objective. And early game, early phases of the games, in all 3 of these games, Church of Murky has been a little bit stronger. And then it kind of seems like Calculated Throw comes online post 10.
Well, it seems like not so much in the first game, but it kind of feels like Church of Murky gets a lead, and I can speak from experience in this way, but it seems like they get a little bit of a lead, get a little more comfortable than they need to be, and just make a little bit of a mistake that gives them a chance to get Calculated Throw back into the game. But this map right now is just super blue. Not a single camp in favor of Calculated Throw.
And here we go, stepping in with 10s. Muradin is caught out, flipped, APOC, and goes down. So level 10s, as we just saw here from Church of Murky, we have Skeleton Mages, or Skeletal Mages, Reign of Vengeance, Apocalypse, I believe that's Holy Word Salvation, it is. So no Light Bomb, and Cursed Bullet.
It's disappointing. That's...
Now, they don't have 2, well actually they do have, they have the Muradin Stun, the Rainer Shotgun, and the Deathwing Stun, so a few interrupts for it. I generally prefer Light Bomb. It's got such playmaking potential, but they're both good.
Yeah, not a bad pick in that set. Looks like we're gonna get a camp from Calculated Throw here. Top 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the bottom camp. Zool's already ready for it. Looks like we'll see if he just goes for it or what happens down bottom here.
So Deathwing
Really
hanging out
strong
top a little
push
bit.
potential.
Yeah, Deathwing hanging out top a little bit. I assume he will join his team at some point here in the near future, and our squads will clash shortly over the second objective of the game. Diablo going in, no Deathwing here. So Church of Murky taking the 5v4. Ring of Frost catches 2. There's the Holy Word Salvation, and it is big time. Maximum value out of that. However, Deathwing has arrived on the back line and is wreaking havoc. Nobody going down quite yet. Muradin dwarf tosses away with less than 100 health. Carve.
Looks like, oh, Diablo's down 2. And he's got that second wind healing him pretty hard too. We might see 3 get wiped here. Maybe, oh.
Scooterman, the escape artist, less than 100 health. And then we saw the pursuit ability of Lucio able to pick up a secondary kill on the Greymane and almost the Vala. as Vala and Jaina decide to trade out. Now, Greymane is not here yet, so I'm a little surprised Church of Murky is stepping in as hard as they are. Maybe just trying to buy some time until he does, but this objective is very close to being calculated throw.
4 away. Yep, they're going to just have to stay in there. Zool already giving it.
So nice team fight win there by calculated throw by the absolute skin of their teeth.
The question here, though, is something that you were talking about a little bit earlier. I mean, is Zool going to get more value in top lane with the camp pushing than what this Punisher that's already done is going to get? Not even a full front wall.
Yeah, the answer is yes, especially because this is on fort. Top lane is on keep. Deathwing pushing back Redbeard and tanking the wave as well. So he's actually saving the structures by doing that. So a nice play
is
by
Greymane
Monitor.
going down? Oh.
Holy Word Salvation. APOC goes out, catches
right
2.
Rainer, gotta get out of there, bud.
Oh my god, Muradin is an absolute animal. I don't know how he stays up.
Zool coming in. We'll see if he can get a root on one of the low Bs.
Nope.
Mystic low. Nope, they're just back. That's a smart play that we haven't seen quite as much from calculated throw as we'd like to. They might go
Mystic,
back in
no.
here.
Now, Deathwing not here, so this is dicey. But Lucio does top off better than the other dudes. Greymane is low. Diablo onto the Jaina. She gets flipped again, but now Diablo body blocked into oblivion. Here's the Cataclysm by Deathwing. Vala is isolated out. Lucio is running her down. I think Vala is going to get got by Lucio, and that is what happens.
That's what I was talking about earlier. They can get a little bit comfortable. Not much, but it doesn't take a whole lot to just be out of position a little bit and give the other team a chance to get back in it. I like to call that the carve method of playing. Getting a lead and just trying to give it back.
Well, I'm going to give a tip of the hat here to who's playing the Diablo. Who is that? Shock. Because Shock didn't pull off the patented Mongoose Diablo death, which is dying in the first minute of the game because you forget that you're squishy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my patented move. Invade coming out by calculated throw. Jaina's showing top. They got to lead. You can't stay here. Cursed Bullet does miss, but Avatar's pop. Deathwing is coming down. Vala and Jaina both coming down. This is going to turn into something.
Little risky there for Vala. Fear just missed sending Vala to Bad News Town. Ring misses.
But they managed to catch the Zool on the flank.
And get an ult out of it. No heroic for Zool. 85 seconds until that one's back up.
Calculated throw saying, Mongoose, you need to quiet your mouth. We will stay here and defend this. We do not need to leave. So, shades of both games here as Church of Murky with a little bit cleaner in the early game, a little more map manipulation, a little more XP soak, and then it gets to the 10s, to the 12, and calculated throw comes roaring back.
Looks like they're even experience here after this camp is get taken. Yep, they're almost identical in terms of experience here, so there's not going to be much of a fight with 16s where one team doesn't have it. The other team does.
Yes, now small advantage here on this objective for Church of Murky for 2 reasons. One, that they're there first, although 16s are here for calculated throw, and 2, they have a mid-fort and well to run to. They can back up, reset, and come back. Calculated throw does not have that. And back goes Church of Murky, ceding the point temporarily until they get their 16s.
Everybody's heroics up except for Zool. Just 5 seconds on his. We'll see what happens here.
Oh, Ring of Frost misses. There's the APOC, which also misses. So one miss for another. Redbeard is all over Jaina. They turn around to drive him back, but Mona has to use the Horrified defensively. Oh, Redbeard's going to get work done back there. Holy Word Salvation and Sound Barrier both used, but down goes Mystic.
One for none and a Punisher. Mortar Punisher, not one of the stronger ones right now.
Yeah, unfortunately that ring didn't get enough value. That ring hits a couple people. That fight is totally different.
Totally different.
There goes John Cena diving onto Muradin. They baited over the wall properly. Only one person eating the stun, and that Punisher's melting pretty quick here. And now they got a scatter. It's gonna jump here in just a few seconds. So scatter, only one person eat that.
Scooty.
Don't, not there, not there.
Scooty, get out of there, Scoots.
And first keep of the game, over to Church of Murky. They have, with Vala and Greymane, so much siege damage that they have been able to parlay.
Scooter man.
Oh, he's going to go down. No way he stays alive. Lucio goes down as well, as does Zool and Deathwing. And with a Greymane and a Vala, that's game, my man.
Yep. Can do it. GG's.
Game 3. Going over
Good
to Church of Murky.
Good set.
Yeah, in all 3 games, they kind of had the slight early lead, and the difference between this one and the other ones is the